Breaker Crunchers, welcome to issue 98 of Couch Crunchers, where we have learned how to make our show more redneck friendly. So, howdy, y'all. Hope you're doing great today. All right. With me is our very own movie mechanic, Sam.
Hey.
What's up, man? And as you guys who are watching on YouTube can see, behind me, Very Bear just moved into my new house. I at least got Vader behind me to keep me some degree of company, though, so that's good. All right. Well, how was the
move, Max?
You know, it was really good. I was impressed, man. So I put something out on Facebook to see who was willing to help, and with everything going on, I wasn't sure what kind of a response I'd get, but I guess people are bored because there were several people who were like, "Yeah, I'm more than happy to come help you." And but what was really crazy is that my wife posted in like my community that I'm living in now, posted in their Facebook page and said, "Hey, we're moving into this neighborhood," and had a question about something unrelated to moving. But the one of the mothers in there used to be my wife used to teach at her kid's school, and her kid was in my wife's class. So she's like, "Oh, I remember you from when you were teaching at that school." And she's like, "Let me know when you're moving in, and my son and his friends can come help." And so we let her know, and her son, and 5 other teenage boys came over and helped us. Like, we had so many people here. It took 90 minutes to unload the entire truck.
Wow, that's a lot of muscle, man. That's great.
It was really nice for me because, like, I didn't have to do hardly any heavy lifting. I basically just sat here and told people where to put stuff because there was constantly a line. There was like my brother and my cousin were in the truck, getting things out of the truck and putting them at the front so that other people could come and grab it and put it in places. Worked out really well. I was impressed. Definitely.
Did you have any furniture casualties?
No casualties, but I mean, it depends on what you define as casualties. No furniture is completely useless, but definitely some damage. There have been some flesh wounds, if you will.
Yeah. I mean, that's always the trade-off. You get free help, but they're not professionals, and they can definitely damage your furniture.
Yeah, I got a little scuff in one of my walls because going up my stairs, they're really steep. And so it's like one of those stairs where you go up most of the way, and then there's a little jet to the left, L shape. But there's not a big landing. My previous house had a big landing. It was a lot easier to move furniture. Excuse me. So, yeah, they were moving something up, one of the heavier items, and hit the wall. And not a big deal. The previous homeowner left me some paint, so I can easily touch it up. It's not even like a hole. It's just scuff.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, no, all in all, man, I'm very happy with.
Well, we're glad to have you back down here, man.
Yeah, me too. It's kind of funny. You and I have been doing the podcast together for what, like, how long you been on? A year now, I think, officially?
I think my first episode was probably September.
Okay. But you've been with Couch Crunchers and writing for us for at least a year now. And
yeah,
we've only met once. We've only met once.
That's right. I've been out of the state. Got some wings, and your brother was hating on me because of my job.
He hates HOAs, man. That was.
Well, I don't do that anymore, so he doesn't have to hate me anymore.
Noted. Well, hey, throwing this out there, you're going to see an invite for it. I'm not going to tell any of you my address, though. Halo Night, my house later this month. You're invited. I know you're not much of a gamer.
Oh, okay. Well, I think the invite already hit. Tyler sent me an invite for Halo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm excited to get this place all packed or unpacked, man. Dude, the last 2-3 nights I've stayed up until 2 a.m. every night just because I want stuff done. And so, like, I've been watching The Walking Dead to try to get caught up. And so I've had The Walking Dead on, and then I'll be unpacking stuff. And last night, around 2 a.m., I finished up like my kitchen and my living room area and the last episode of The Walking Dead that is currently out. So it was a good few days.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Which, if you guys aren't watching The Walking Dead, I know on this show we've kind of criticized it a few times, but I like it. It's a good show, and this season has been pretty good. They've only released up to episode 15. 16 is supposed to be the last episode, but due to coronavirus, they've finished filming all of it, obviously, but they haven't finished all the editing. And because people are at home, I guess it's taken them longer to get the show all edited and whatnot. So It's still not out. It was supposed to come out April 2nd, and here we are more than a month later, and it's still not out. So I don't know when it's going to come, but they said it is eventually.
Okay. Well, yeah. So I was visiting my folks this afternoon, dropping off a Mother's Day present for my mom. And on my way back from their house, I drove by what looked like an accident scene. There were several police cars.
Yeah.
Down the street from my house, there's a house that has a bunch of palm trees in the front yard. And there was a car wedged between the two palm trees in the front yard.
What?
Yeah. It was like
Dang,
6
dude.
feet off the ground, wedged,
Jeez.
like it had launched off the curb and gotten stuck in between the two palm trees. Insane.
Hey, dude. All right, I'm reaching out to Corban here. He said he was going to be on the show. Just want to make sure he knows that we're here waiting for him. Hopefully he can come on. Corbin's a good guy. But dude, that is crazy. So you have this car like wedged between two palm trees?
Yeah, it was wedged between two palm trees. Police cars everywhere. I posted a picture of it on my Instagram stories.
Uh-huh.
The caption was just, whoopsie.
I mean, that's accurate. Jeez, dude, that's crazy. I wonder if that's going to be in the news. Let people know what actually happened.
Yeah, if it weren't for those palm trees, that car definitely would have made it through the living room window.
Jeez, dude. I wonder if that person was drunk or something like that. How do you
I
get
don't know, it was
that
like
far
12
off track?
in the afternoon.
Yeah, you don't know, man. People these days, they're getting stir crazy. Darn it.
Yeah, maybe he was just tired of quarantine and jumped out.
That's what it was, man. That's got to be what it is. Tired of quarantine. Well, you been up to anything fun during quarantine besides seeing cars tucked between palm trees?
Well, not really fun. I've done a lot of introspection. I had look
What's up,
who
Corban?
it is.
Hey,
Look
hey.
who it is.
Hey, Max. Hey, Sam. How's it
Hey.
going?
Thanks for coming on.
Corbin Dallas.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be on, man. It's
All
fun.
right, we can stop talking about whatever we were talking about. What we got to talk about is Corbin's Tinder profile game.
I am failing, Sam. I am failing. I keep getting like the matches for Bumble, right? And they have 24 hours to respond, and people like me and then never say anything, and I have to watch as it takes away. I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
Corbin's last profile pic, he posted it on Facebook. It's him like flexing angry.
I thought it was a cool picture.
It is cool. It's very cool.
Thank
Women
you.
are not going to respond to it though. It's like, when I was in high school, I joined the football team because I thought it was going to get me tons of girls,
Yeah.
and all it got me was football players. I just hung out with football players all the time. I
Okay.
was like, this is the opposite of what I want. I don't want to hang out with more football players.
No, less. Okay. I don't know how to do it, man. I'm grasping at a straw, Sam. I'm telling you.
Here's what you do. Unfortunately, I was dense and an idiot back in the high school days. I had no idea that girls liked me. I did drama, dude. So what you got to do is you learn to play the guitar and you go do some community theater and you might get some chicks.
I'm game.
I don't know about community theater though.
Okay.
High school theater is another story because you got lots of girls from high school in the play. Community theater, you might be getting a bunch of moms that are just trying to get a break from their kids.
Just kind of act out. I get you on that.
Corbin, if you take advice from us, the chances are it's going to be a prank. It's going to be a prank.
Watch me sign up now, looking up stuff, and then find out. Nope.
But you know what would be the ultimate prank is if it actually worked for you. That would be the ultimate prank.
That would be.
That'd be
that would
amazing.
so cool.
If Corbin like auditions and all of a sudden he's like the star in like Bye Bye Birdie or something, and he gets some girl, that'd be pretty sick.
Bye bye, Brady.
I don't know. I was just trying to think of something.
Yeah,
I
that's,
feel it. No, that would be cool. Listen, at this point, I'll try anything. Well, not anything, but I'm gonna take my time. But I thought, listen, it was a cool picture. I'm glad Sam gave me that moment because I went right back and changed it on my profile.
Well, now it's you reading a picture or reading a book.
Yeah, now I was
reading a book.
reading a book. I was trying to find something that'll fix. I'm sitting there going, like, I can't change what I could change what I like and dislike, but that's not going to do anything when they find me and realize that I don't believe in it,
Yeah, you know what you should do, Corbin, is have a picture of you Scrooge McDucking through piles of cash.
So I have to borrow some money. And
Fill up a swimming pool with wads of money and just Scrooge McDuck through it. That's what you got to do.
I'm gonna try to get some. I never wanted to fall for that prank where people get their direct deposit and they like hold it all in their hand, like all these 20s, like they roll in it. It's like, dude, that's your entire month's payment. Like, calm down.
Right.
but I might have to try that. Just get some real good gold doubloons or something. I don't know.
I don't know, man. You should make some rupees and pose with the rupees in the background so that all the Zelda chicks want to date you. That's what you do.
Is that what you're after, Corban? What kind of girl are you after? You after Zelda chick?
You know, at this point, I've started opening my like parameters so much. I'm not sure if it's like, I don't know what the case is, but for me, I know a nerdy person who is active, gets out, you know, but someone who's like not above like, hey, podcast weekend. Either if I'm not like on one, I like to listen to them. Like I'm big on that. Got to get my books. Like, you know, someone who gets both sides of that, and it's hard, or at least they don't present themselves that way on the profiles. And I don't run into people like that, especially, you know, with the COVID-19 and all. That's not happening at all. So it's like it's hard. It's hard. The speed dating worked out for me when I did at the Phoenix Fan Fusion, but like everyone I matched with only wanted like the immediate gratification. Like it was like the Tinder of speed dating, and that's not what I was looking.
They just wanted your hot bod. They didn't want your pure personality.
Exactly, which, you know, flattering wasn't going to lead me anywhere, and it didn't work out. So I'm like, I'm back at square one.
Well, you know, maybe the problem is they have an itch that they have to scratch before they can sit down and chat with you.
Okay. So they got to get that done first before.
Get that done first, then they'll be happy to get to know you. But they've got an issue that they need to take care of before they can calm down and have a conversation.
Okay. I mean, I can listen. I can next time try to acquiesce that one. Like, okay, as long as we promise that we'll
don't be so selfish, Corban. You got to give a little before you take a little.
I mean, I'm gonna be like, okay, can we at least go out for dinner after? Like that's what I need. Okay,
man, alive. You're getting like, girls that just want to get straight into that, man.
Right.
You and I come from different worlds, buddy.
Oh man,
your cards right, man.
Okay, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna keep you posted now that you guys are part of the story.
Oh, we're invested. We are totally invested. As soon as I saw you flexing with a scowl on your face, I was like, "What the heck is he doing?"
Yeah, that was.
Hey man, I thought he looked fierce.
He did look fierce.
Thanks, guys.
Does a girl want to date fierce? I don't think so.
I don't know. Maybe not. I mean, it hadn't worked in the 6 hours it was up, so we're gonna go with no, I guess.
But if you want a nerdy athletic girl, you might want to go start doing lightsaber battles. There's some very nerdy athletic girls.
Get in some LARPing.
Really? Okay, LARPing too. Okay.
The gals who do all the lightsaber stunts at the Comic-Cons, those are very nerdy and very athletic all in one.
Okay.
There you go.
I mean,
I like reading.
And what was it? Was it last year or the year before? There was a wedding proposal during the lightsaber stunt show.
Oh wow, I missed that. No, I didn't go 2 years ago. That's why. Okay, I gotta check this out. I mean, listen, I'm not sure how they're gonna. I know apparently they Fan Fusion is what 5 months from now, 4 months from now. Don't know how it's gonna work out. September, yeah, like the last the same 4 days, the end of September, the 25th through the 29th, whatever. But if they keep it up, I mean, I'll peruse. I gotta do my due diligence, you know. I feel it. All right, so I got the notes and everything down. I did check out Logan Lucky, which I hadn't seen before. I'm like, is this some new movie? And then I was like, no, I've seen this 18 times. Yeah, like I've shelved it. Once I looked it up and saw the cover, I'm like, I've shelved this movie like 46 times, like in my life.
Yeah.
So it was cool to actually pick up a movie that I wouldn't have picked up before, and I enjoyed it.
That's been the fun thing about quarantine, you know, like there's no movies in the theaters, and so it's given us this opportunity to go back and watch some stuff that we didn't review before, or maybe we wouldn't have even reviewed.
Yeah.
Because Logan Lucky came out when Adventures was going. It wasn't really a movie we would have reviewed back then.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's good. I'm glad you guys did have that look back. It's been interesting to watch.
Yeah.
The last one I watched from you guys was I didn't watch. I catch more of you guys on my podcast feed, but the Invisible people movie trailer. That was cool.
Oh, you didn't see that episode?
Well, I'm about to tell you, Sam. So then I'm listening and I'm hearing them describe Sam. And I'm like, what's so big? So I had to look it up, and I don't know how you did it, but that was sick.
It was awesome.
It was I was on my way to work when I'm listening to this. I'm like what? They kept. I think Lance kept referring to it a couple times, and I'm like, I got to see this. So I go in the YouTube link that's on it, and I look. I'm like, what in the world? How did you do it? I know Sam goes over the top with the disguise and everything, but that was a whole.
Yeah, that was next level.
That was next gen.
It was really, really hard to find an Invisible Man outfit.
Wow, that was truly 20. That was. How did you do it? I mean, that was wow.
Magician never reveals his secrets.
Exactly, right?
True that.
He had to sacrifice some audio quality, but it was worth it, man.
It was
production
sick.
value.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Man, every time I went to him, I was like, like it was cool. Oh man.
I was impressed.
Definitely.
Yeah, dude. But it's been fun, man. I even with moving, I've had an opportunity to watch a good amount of TV lately. Nice, finished Better Call Saul. Last week I was talking about it, and Sam was saying I was just about to get to the best episodes, and you weren't wrong. Those were some incredible episodes of that show, dude. Have you watched Better Call Saul, Corban?
I watched 1 or 2 episodes. I have not. I've been the complete opposite. I haven't caught up on my TV. So I'm really been looking back on. I got my Netflix and everything on. So I'm checking out again. I have to credit Sam because I saw him commenting on one of his Facebook posts about it like a week or 2 ago or something. And I was like, I keep hearing all these people talk about it, so let me tune in. And it's solid start. I mean, I'm definitely on the binge watch and catch up on more of it. But again, it's not something I would normally watch. But in a moment where there's like no new content coming out, you're like, okay, listen, this guy likes it. I'm going to have to check it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I watched it because Sam's been recommending it so much, and definitely glad. It's been a really good time. But yeah, I guess I've been on an AMC kick because I watched all of Better Call Saul over the last 3 weeks. And then I watched season 10 of The Walking Dead this past week. So I'm all caught up on that, except for obviously the last episode, which hasn't been released. But I forget, man, AMC makes some good content. It's some good stuff. They make some real good stuff.
Definitely. I'm telling you one thing. I hang out with Sam and Tyler and Lance for the Tucson Comic Con, and I was reintroduced to Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Happy to report I am all caught up on that. That show is
dude, it's the best, man.
It seriously is. I hadn't watched more than 1 or 2 when I was with them, and after that, I'm like, I have to watch more.
Tyler is jumping for joy right now.
Oh man, I don't know. Yeah. I think he might like it more than me, but I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I love the episode this season where I'm not going to spoil anything really, but there's an episode where Jake has to go undercover as Holt's husband, and so. You know how Jake always says, no doubt, or something like that? He says cool. Well, because Holt's husband is much more formal, he has to go, indeed. And I just freaking loved it. It's so good. It's so good, man.
Oh, man.
The show's hilarious.
It is. It's joy. I've laughed on everyone. Also, have you guys seen the Harley Quinn? Sorry, the
no,
DC?
You're good.
Yeah, have you guys seen
I've watched 2 episodes of it. I'm not caught up on it. I've heard.
I've thought that's been very fun.
The 2 episodes I've seen are hilarious.
Yes,
it is fun.
It builds on it. It is hilarious. There's so much goodness in that one.
Dude, Bane and Kite Man are absolutely hilarious.
Hell yeah.
Kite Man is hilarious.
It's funny, man. Oh goodness, definitely.
Goes into Poison Ivy's bedroom and gets naked. She's like, "What are you doing, man? You were giving me vibes. I thought we were gonna go at it." No, we came here to get the antidote for the kids you poisoned.
Yep. And at the very end, those dang kids. Yeah. It's hilarious.
Yeah, what have you been up to, Sam?
Oh, I've been watching. New season of Last Kingdom. It's a Netflix series. Follows my man Uhtred of Bedinburgh.
I started the first episode just before the show. I'm about halfway through.
If you like the show Vikings, this is kind of from the opposite angle, from the Saxon angle, and it follows it.
I think it's better than Vikings.
Oh, I really, really like it. Season 4, the first 3 seasons follows kind of Uhtred's his relationship with the King Alfred of Wessex, and then season 4, Alfred is dead now, and so it's kind of Uhtred's relationship with the new king Edward and Alfred's daughter Ethelfled, and kind of how the politics of that time was going on. And Uhtred is a fictional character, but everyone else in the show is real. The royalty, those are all real people. They just kind of hide how much time has passed so that they don't have to explain why they don't age very much. But
yeah, well, it's just like Ragnar in Vikings.
Yeah.
Ragnar is like a legend in Viking history. and he shows up in so many different events, but there's no way the man would have lived 400 years when all of those events took place over. And that's kind of how the Vikings is too. It's like you got things that took place within 200 years of each other, but Ragnar was at both in the show because they want to keep the character there and they want to have some of that history in it, but it's also like there's no way he'd be alive.
Right.
And I can overlook that because I want to see the characters, but yeah.
Sure. And my wife really, really, really enjoys it because there are some nice bathing scenes where Uhtred shows his backside and he's freaking cut. He's like,
he is a cut man.
He would make the Corban pose anytime.
Yeah.
He's pretty jacked, and it's really funny because there's one of the ladies, the lady that was married to King Alfred, her name's Elswith, and she hates Uhtred, but she kind of gives him goo-goo eyes when he takes off his clothes to get baptized for the third time.
Does he get baptized again in this season?
Yeah. So funny.
Oh my gosh. It's so funny. I swear in that world, it's like, oh, you've pissed us off? Well, if you just get baptized, we'll trust you again.
You'll be right back in our way. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah,
that's
show.
what I've been watching.
I gotta get caught up on that. That's been on my to-do list. But I recently got YouTube TV, and that's actually how I watched The Walking Dead. I watched it all on demand.
Okay.
And it all expired. It was all going to expire May 17th, which I thought it was going to take me longer to get through The Walking Dead. So I was like trying to rush through getting Walking Dead done since Netflix is always going to be there with The Last Kingdom. But I'm real excited to finally jump back in. That's been a good show.
Two more things I wanted to bring up. One was if you are interested in getting into manga, Viz through Shonen Jump through Viz is doing like a showcase where they're allowing people to access certain chapters of certain manga for free.
Oh, wow.
So you can dig deep into archives. Right now they're doing a One Piece deep dive that you can get into and read probably, I think it's 60 chapters they've made available. And then the other thing is I mentioned this like 6 weeks ago, but I finished my free trial of Chris Hemsworth's workout program Center.
How was that?
And I'm pleased to report it was a good experience overall. I am interested in continuing the program. The workouts probably weren't that hard for me because all I've got is like 30-pound dumbbells, but they are starting a body weight exercise program for the next 6 weeks. Probably jump into, but it was really good. And I think it's probably worth the money. They have like 3 components to it. It's a workout regimen, and then they have diet program where they give you recipes and meals and stuff. And then it also has like a meditation calming portion, which is really the kind of the highlight of it, because I don't know if you recall, but in Thor Ragnarok, there's a scene where Thor is trying to calm the Hulk down.
Yeah.
He says, sun is going down.
Sun's getting real low.
And that's exactly what it's like when Chris Hemsworth is doing the meditation.
Calm
and he
down.
says, I'm gonna try and do a good impression of it, but he goes, "Hello, everybody. Chris here. Are you nice and snuggly in your warm little beds? Take a nice deep breath and let your body get all soft and wobbly like jelly."
That wasn't bad.
That was not bad at all, dude. That was pretty good.
Oh.
Well,
That's
awesome.
like the one to relax.
Yeah, that's
The
trying
lullaby
to get you to relax, but I can't stop laughing.
Oh, man.
It's just so hilarious.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I tell you, I was soothed just now. I almost
Yeah,
fell
that
asleep.
was good. The rest of the night, I'd like that.
Wobbly like jelly.
Just
There you go.
Oh,
Well, is your wife? Has she been working out too, or has she just been watching for the muscles?
Oh, so she has her own program. You know, it's funny that you mentioned that because we were watching Rocky together and several years ago, and she got really excited about it. And she's like, "I want you to coach me." And I was like, "Are you sure?" I don't know if that's a good idea. You may not like me as a coach.
Okay.
She's like, no. I definitely need a coach so I can get in boxing shape. And she's never thrown a punch at anybody in her lifetime. But I was like, I guess if you want to. And we start coaching like the next day. I get her some like little boxing gloves and we're getting ready to box. I was like, okay, throw a punch. And she goes, don't tell me what to do. It's like,
already.
You're like, I'm your coach. I'm supposed to.
This is part of the teaching.
I was like, okay, well, let's do some jumping jacks. She's like, I'll do what I want to do. I was like, okay, this isn't going to work.
Wow.
So we don't work out together. We do our own thing. It's like, I'll trust you to do your workout. You trust me to do my workout. We don't mix workouts.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fair.
All right. That's funny, though. All right, first thing I do. You talking to me?
Yeah.
You talking to me?
Oh, no. You do it first. I'm not doing
Exactly.
it. You do it first.
Exactly. We doing
That's
this side by
funny, man.
side. Yeah.
Who do you think I am?
I mean, I definitely don't work out very much, and I need to. But when I do not like to work out with my wife. She likes to do more of like the yoga and stuff like that, and I'm not into that. Nothing wrong with yoga, but I don't really want to do that. I'd rather go for a walk or play basketball with some friends or something like that. Like, I enjoy cardio like that, but I do not enjoy yoga.
I feel that. I mean, I'm better just by myself or like with earphones, and I'm too competitive. In my past experience with other people, it's not. I'm like, let's go, let's do some more, and it's like, now I'm just trying to beat you, and then it just looks crazy, and then it's like, okay, after the fact, like, oh, okay, wasn't that fun? They're like, no, it wasn't fun. I was like, oh, well. I'm surprised, but now I've realized, I've matured enough to realize that no, like, if we're going the same way, I'll go at your speed and work out together. But for my own, like, it is plugged in and at it. Like, there's no, the competitive urge just takes over.
That's funny.
Yeah, but fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, my other issue is I can't do yoga with my wife because she gets really mad at me because I'll always make comments about the way she's bending. And I'm like, you look hot. And she's like, stop it. I'm trying to work out.
Distracting.
Come on, Max. Get your mind out of the gutter.
Well, let's see that angle some more later. I guess.
Exactly. That's the I'll make stupid jokes, all the innuendos. She's like, we can't do yoga together anymore. I'm like, you're right. I can't help myself.
For sure.
Can't take it much longer.
Well, I know that we've talked about Star Wars a lot on the show, so I'm just going to say the Clone Wars finale came out. I loved it, and if you guys have watched Clone Wars at all, go watch the final season. It's super good. The last 4 episodes were freaking fire. But yeah, anyway, with that, should we get into the movie? You guys want to talk about Logan Lucky?
Logan Lucky.
All right. Do we want to try to do spoiler free, or should we just go straight into spoilers?
Let's just go straight into spoilers. Since this movie's been out for several years, I think it's fair that we can dive right into spoilers. But why don't I give a synopsis first? So Logan Lucky is about 2 brothers, and they are looking to pull off a heist. And the heist is they're going to rob Charlotte Motor Speedway during a race. And the idea is at first is they're going to pull off the heist during a smaller race, but then something happens that they have to now do the biggest race of the year. And Charlotte Motor Speedway it's a big arena for racing. In fact, there are some people who live there year round. This is just by way of background. They don't really talk about it in the movie, but it has its own police force. It has condos. It has a bank. So it is basically like a little community built around a racetrack. They have pneumatic tubes, which play a big role in the movie. And what they find out is that they can't do it alone. They have to have a team, and enter one of the greatest characters of movie history, Joe Bang, which
man.
The first time I ever heard Daniel Craig speak with a Southern accent, and oh my gosh, so good. So good.
That was amazing.
Perfect.
I like his Joe
I
Bang.
am incarcerated.
I like his Joe Bang accent almost as much as I like his Benoit Blanc from Knives Out.
Yeah, I think Benoit's a little better, but man, they're both golden.
Gold. I didn't know it was so versatile voice range, but it was hilarious.
He's so funny. And my favorite scene in that whole movie is this exchange between the brothers, played by Channing Tatum and Adam Driver, and Joe Bang, played by Daniel Craig, in the jail the first time that they meet up. And to me, that was the funniest movie moment of all of 2017 when the movie came out. You borrowed the line from that where he says, "I am incarcerated."
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite moments of the whole movie. And it didn't get a lot of the movie didn't get a lot of attention when it came out. I did go see it opening night when it came out, and I fell in love with it immediately. My wife and I watch it probably once a week because we love it that much. It's a really
Wow. Wow.
So I've seen it many times since it came out.
Wow. Really? You watch it once a week?
Yeah, I really enjoy this movie.
Wow. I mean, I like it too, but dang, I did not expect to hear that from you.
Yeah, that was wow. I mean, it was. I was pleasant. Like I came in this having no expectation or knowledge of it at all, and I was referencing this just earlier to you guys that like when I finally saw, I was like, oh, I've seen this, like, or at least held this movie, looked at this movie, and not like registered it. And I enjoyed it. It was a blast throughout. And like you said, not only was the acting performance, Daniel Craig for me stole the show, but I like the way that maybe it was the way it was directed, but it almost made you wonder how smart or how dumb the characters were in my mind. Like, I'm sitting there go, oh, they don't know what they're doing in certain instances. And it's like, oh, like as far as even the scheme, like when they were going to break Joe out and then bring him back in before, like by the heist, I was like, what are you talking about? I don't know what. But like, it was like a sly game of like trying to understand the perception of, do you get these characters? Are you really understanding the motivations, how much they're letting on? And that was like almost like a little game within the movie as you're kind of going with the suspense of it all in line with just the comedic genius that was throughout.
Yeah, there's a meme that is on Reddit a lot, and it's like the hillbilly engineer meme, and it says, if it looks stupid, but it works, then it isn't stupid. And that's basically the premise of the hillbilly heist, right? It seems stupid, but it works, so it's not stupid.
So that's stupid.
I freaking love it, though, man. This is like, I don't know if you described it this way or if someone else did. Oh, it was my brother. My brother described it as Ocean's 11 with rednecks. And hillbillies might even be the better term, but it was so freaking good, man. You go to like the fair or whatever, and they're playing horseshoes with toilet seat covers, and you know they're all racing quads and everything like that. And I'm just like, this is awesome. This is a legitimate culture of the United States. Like there are people that's not even like a joke for. It's clear that like they took it a little bit over and above. It's meant to be satirical, but like it's just great. Like I think it's so cool that there's a culture of people in our country that's how they live. Like they legit are like that, and that's really fun.
I enjoyed that the heist was dubbed Ocean 7-Eleven. Like that was just off of that what you were saying. I was like, boom!
Yeah, that's the thing matters.
That was funny to me.
Yeah, it was freaking awesome. I had a ton of fun with this movie. When the trailers came out in 2017, I was not interested. I don't know what it is about the trailers, but I was just like, this looks stupid. I have zero interest in seeing this. And then my brother told me he loved it, and ever since then I've been meaning to watch it. And it was on sale on Vudu a while back, and I was like, you know what? My brother said he loved this. I'm going to trust his word for it, even though I haven't seen it, and I'm going to buy it. And that was like 3 months ago, and I still hadn't watched it. And so I'm like, crap, I need to watch this. So I did, and then I asked the guys if they wanted to review it, and Sam was like, yeah, let's do it. And it sounds like you didn't need to do any prep, Sam. If you've watched it as many times as you have, didn't need to rewatch it.
Memory.
That's freaking awesome, man. That's awesome.
So I do want to point out that the comparisons to Ocean's 11 are spot on. And the director, Steven Soderbergh, also directed Ocean's 11. He directed Ocean's 13, and it does have a lot of similar feel. To me, it's a lot more laid back and a lot more fun than Ocean's 11. It doesn't seem like they're trying to be cool. It just seems like they're trying to be fun, and I like that way better than Ocean's 11 trying to be cool.
You're definitely right on that. They're not trying to look cool. They're just trying to get the job done and have fun. And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So let me ask you guys, what did you think of the the first scene in the prison where they go to meet Joe Bang.
I thought it was hilarious.
For me, it was like one nonstop, like, what's going on? Laugh, 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 laugh. What's going on? Right to when you see like him come and sit down, and then he starts talking, and it was like he was trying to be all in the incarcerated scene. We keep talking about him. He was trying to be like, "Oh yeah, I could do the job if I wasn't," like, and then he says it, and like that whole line, that was like the moment for me. Not even just for the trailer and everything, but just leading up to it, where it's like, okay, we're about to see like this big guy who's gonna be like the total muscle, and he comes in and just like, wait, what? It was just a laugh fest for me, that entire opening like act, and it really just set off, I guess, what the rest was to come.
Yeah, that scene in the jail has one of my favorite lines of all time, and it's so funny to me. I've asked people who've seen it, and they seem like they don't really think that part's as funny as I do. But so in the jail, he's sitting there, and he's trying to explain to the brothers, why he's not interested in doing the job. And he says, well, I should probably lay low. By the way, I've got this nest egg. And they interrupt him and they say, oh, that $97,000 you got stashed under the oak tree at your house? And he's like, what? and he's like, I think, Adam Driver says, yeah, it seems your little brother Fish told his wife about it, and she run off with told his wife about it. And he says, oh, Fish told Misty? And he says, yeah, she ran off with some trucker from Florida and stole all the money. And he stops and he says, what part of Florida?
yes, I did catch that, and I thought it was hilarious.
That's my favorite line of that movie. And it's like, what, are you going to go track him down? You're going to go find him in Florida? Get your money back? The money's gone, son.
It's done. That was basically the version of, so there's a chance.
I thought that, but I also thought it was like, a lot of people hate Florida, and I thought he was trying to say, wait, what part of that awful state did they go to? Like, I thought it was kind of a bit of both. I thought it was a knock on Florida and the whole, I need to get my money back kind of thing. I thought that line was absolutely hilarious.
That's my favorite line in the whole movie.
It was fun.
Yeah, so let me ask you, what did you think? What were the standout performances for you in Logan Lucky?
So the standout performances, well, definitely Daniel Craig's performance as Joe Bang. He was incredible. Channing Tatum was just okay, but I thought Adam Driver was fantastic. He's just a great actor. I love him and everything. And him as this one-armed hillbilly was fantastic. I really enjoyed that. And then I can't remember the sister's name, but I thought she did a really good job as well. Millie, yeah.
Really? Mm-hmm. No, I thought Channing Tatum did okay. I'm not as, I guess, big on him just as an actor in general. I don't know like why or whatever. So I was like, oh, it's okay. I enjoyed Driver's performance. Seth MacFarlane's the British businessman.
Oh man. He was so bad.
The slimy Monster energy drink purveyor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Sebastian Stan, I thought, did a great job as that. That to me, I mean, when it was like, oh, I remember him, and I love going into a movie, I guess blind, which is like most movies are not comic related, where I pick out, oh yeah, I know this guy, oh yeah, I know that guy, but like the role, just playing this like all about himself, just specimen of a NASCAR driver.
Like he's so high on his own supply, right? He starts talking about his body like it's a computer. I need to source really clean software for my OS.
Yes.
Oh, dude. Come on.
It was hilarious.
Hey, man. But Seth MacFarlane's character made him drink that sugar. He said he shouldn't do it. And then he like crashed halfway through the race. So he knows his OS.
He knows his OS. He knows it through and through.
So funny.
And so those two were the performance for me. Obviously Joe Bang. So it's like, for me, Driver and Craig, but also McFarlane and Stan were really good. Really solid. A whole good movie.
Yeah, one of my favorite exchanges is between – so part of their scheme involves a phony prison riot, and one of my favorite exchanges is when the prisoners offer their demands to the warden, and they say,
yes,
we want all the new seasons of Game of Thrones. And the warden's like, fellas, I'd love to give you the new season, but it hasn't come out yet. He's like, that's bull crap. That guy says that they've done released the season already. And he says, well, I understand that's what it says, but George R.R. Martin was supposed to deliver the manuscript, but due to his promotion schedule, he's been unable to finish the book.
Random aside.
Negotiation over. We're done.
I freaking loved it. I loved that because he still hasn't finished the book.
Yeah.
And fans are furious. And the man's like 100 years old.
It was like on brand for then and still now. Like that makes it a joke that like the longevity is the movie that definitely
he said he was gonna have that book released in 2016. I know that's what it said, but it hasn't happened. I just thought that was so good. I love that part.
Oh man.
And I love the warden in general, just we don't have riots in my prison.
Another one of my favorite moments is when they're talking to Joe Bang's younger brothers, Fish and Sam, and they're trying to convince them to do the job, and they said no, that they found God and they can't do the job without a moral reason. The moral reason that they give them is that the grocery castle, which is sponsoring or supposed to sponsor the race that they want to rob, the grocery castle, their sister Melly used to work at the grocery castle. Mm-hmm. But then when she got promoted to assistant manager, the manager tried to cop a field. And so Fish and Sam are like, no. Oh, no.
It's like that.
We're in. We're doing it. Let's rob the grocery castle auto.
Oh man.
And then they get all mad. You made us go against our moral code. We agreed to rob the grocery mart. Not Coca-Cola or whoever was sponsoring the thing.
Oh man.
Yeah, so there's a lot of humor. What did you guys feel about the heist itself? Did it live up to your expectations? Did it disappoint you in any way? Were there any twists that you didn't see coming?
I like the improvisation. I hope I said that right. One of those two were said correctly. Where in making the bomb, what was it again? It was like gummy bears, and like salt. There's salt substitute or something.
Tide pens.
Yeah, and it's like I mean, one of the great things, at least in my opinion, of a good like heist is seeing like how they do it and everything, and the inevitable hiccups and stuff that go in. But with this cast of characters, you just knew that the way they're gonna, the scientific method of this heist would be a little off the beaten track. And so, for whatever reason, that part stuck out to me, just the bomb and how they did that, but also the way they used the cockroaches to go into the tunnels. So like,
I love that.
That part to me was also really like fun. I was like, oh, that's ew, but like that's kind of fun.
Yeah. What about you, Max?
Can you repeat your question? I'm sorry.
Mechanics of the
heist.
I
think the heist. Yeah, sorry. What surprised me about the heist? I'm trying to remember all the facets of it now, but I loved the whole bomb thing as well because it's just, again, I always thought of this as like redneck Ocean's 11, right? And that's just such a redneck way to do it. You know, just putting all these random things, gummy bears and all that stuff together to make a bomb. I loved that. I thought that was really funny. And then what I guess surprised me a little, and I thought was cool, is how Channing Tatum's character kind of like hid what he was doing from everybody. You know, made it seem like he gave the money back when really he only gave some of the money back to then get, you know, I think it was the FBI or whatever off of his trail. I thought that was kind of a cool touch. And earlier when I said Channing Tatum wasn't my favorite, by the way, it wasn't that he was bad. I just didn't think he was like a standout performance compared to some of the others. But yeah, so that definitely was a part that like surprised me, and I thought it was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. I think what you referenced going back to Tim's character was back to what I'm saying about the. You're right. Like it surprised me too that he did it. And I was like, oh, like again, I guess whether it was and maybe like the perception going in was that I felt that they weren't not. I don't want to say smart or dumb or anything like that, just not capable of the action that they end up doing. And in Tatum's character, I was like, oh, I did not see that coming at all. And I thought that was interesting that was one of the moments I picked off, going, oh, the way I looked at these characters and like seeing some of the things they do throughout totally matched up with how I perceived that they would be. I may have to a lesser extent shoehorned them in certain roles, but yeah, I agree with you, Max. That was a part too I thought was kind of funny, interesting for real.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting. My wife turned to me partway through the movie, and she says, "You know what I think would be really cool, Max, is if they don't actually pull it off and they get caught. I think that'd be really funny with this." And obviously, that's not what ended up happening. They did get away with it, although they tried to leave it open for a sequel, which I'm going to guess isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it was just a cool movie where it did seem like it could be plausible that they would fail. I guess there was one thing that did surprise me. They talked a lot in the movie about, the Logan Luck and how there's like a curse. They have bad luck a lot. And I didn't feel like they really had too much drama come up during the heist other than the arm thing. There wasn't a lot of drama, and I was kind of surprised. I thought there was going to be more bad luck.
But that would come back to manifest itself later. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that, and maybe it's because of the rules that that Channing Tatum's character was able to establish early on. So the top 10 rules for robbing a bank are: number 1, decide to rob a bank. Number two, have a plan. Number 3, have a backup plan. Number 4, establish clear communications. Number 5, choose your partners carefully. Number 6, expect the unexpected. Number 7, shit happens. Number 8, don't get greedy. Number 9, remember, shit happens. And number 10, hang up and know when to walk away. Do you think that they lived by those rules in the show? Do you think they kept to those, or did they stray from the 10 rules?
That, for one, I don't know if I've heard that was fully comprehensive. For the most part, I want to say that they did. I'm trying to remember. The last, I think Ish Happens was 7 and 9.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe I feel like that last little not dust up that they had, but like where they were where Clyde and I think Clyde had gotten into something. I feel like there was a moment where I guess they weren't accepting of that like Ish Happens part, but for the most part, I feel like it kind of went off according to plan. Like I didn't really see a whole lot of this one surprised I can't even use words today. Like someone turning coming up lame on the plot or something. You know what I mean? Like I feel for the most part I followed those basic tenets.
Yeah, they had a couple hiccups. One of them was the prosthetic hand getting sucked into the vacuum. The other one was when the bomb failed to go off the first go around and it shot back out at them. And
that was a fun moment.
Yeah, it was very funny, also kind of tense. And the other one was the security guards coming to explore the smoke underneath the stadium. So that was another moment that kind of went sideways. There were just little things there.
Those were terrible security guards, by the way.
Right.
The whole heist crew kept walking past them and nothing.
Yeah.
Like, hi. You see me smoke?
Also, they did get lucky by when they saw Seth MacFarlane's character in the tunnel, along with the race car driver played by Sebastian Stan.
Mm-hmm.
That was another could have gone sideways, but Sebastian Stan,
sure, that's true,
hated Seth MacFarlane's character so much that he denied ever having seen anybody,
which I loved. I was wondering if he was in on it, but it did never show that he was. So
that chemistry, that connection was fun. And you're right, he kind of unwittingly kind of helped with that whole thing coming about just by that strong feelings he had toward MacFarlane's character, which was cool in its own way.
So yeah, there were a few hiccups, and I compare movies like this to movies like Ocean's 8. Ocean's 8 is a heist movie where it's all women, and it definitely in that movie there were zero hiccups in their plan. There were some near misses, but everything went according to plan. And in the end, they revealed that not only did they steal the necklace that they were after, but they ended up stealing 12 other necklaces as well.
Yeah, they above and beyond.
Yeah, the plan went so well that they went ahead and stole 12 more necklaces that nobody even knew about. And that to me is the worst. I hate that movie so much. It's like there's no tension. There's zero tension because the point of having a plan and revealing a plan to an audience is so that you can watch it go haywire. So you can watch it go sideways. Everything that can go wrong will go wrong, and yet they still have to be able to find a way to pull it off. That's where the tension comes from.
I agree. Yeah, for me, it didn't have. I've only watched a few heists, certainly not on the level of both of you, but it didn't have any like the comedic feel there. But Widows, I feel like that was one that the heist portion of, and also you're right, things going wrong, that heightened up that tension of, oh my goodness, like how do you overcome and, like you said, still pull off the job even when things aren't going the right way. You have people who can no longer perform the task needed. A person that you could have swore wasn't going to be there is now there. Like that type of element, I agree with you. Like that adds to why you wouldn't watch those types of movies.
Yeah, so any movie where they tell you a plan and everything goes according to plan isn't worth watching. It's not worth watching. There's only one movie where everything went according to plan that I thought was very tense, and that was The Walk with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, where he plays a high wire acrobat, and he walks between the Twin Towers in New York in like the 70s or 80s. And that's just tense because it's so high up, and I watched it in 3D, so I was like, my butt was puckering that whole scene.
Yeah,
But yeah, if there's a movie and they tell you a plan and it doesn't go completely sideways, then it's like, what's the point? What are we doing here?
Sure.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I mean, I haven't seen Widows. I've heard it's good, but I haven't seen it yet. But like Ant-Man is another example of, where there's a heist and plenty of stuff goes wrong. Even Endgame has a small heist in it when they go to steal the Pym particles, and there's a couple of things that go wrong in that short, very like side questy portion of that movie. But yeah, you're right. You definitely want to have things go wrong in a heist movie or anytime there's a plan. Which again, Endgame's a really good example. Here's the plan, and tons of crap goes wrong during that whole execution.
Sure.
Because it's a time heist. So I guess time
heist.
It was a heist within a heist for the Pym particles, but yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I really liked the movie. I thought it was a good time. I did expect more to go wrong than did, but it was still really good, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Yeah, since you've seen this so many times, Sam, what else do you think is worth talking about on this one?
There's it's an ensemble cast. Clearly it's led by three people, and they're all on the cover. So you got Channing Tatum, Adam Driver, and Daniel Craig. And then the gal who plays the younger sister. Let me bring up her name real quick.
Yeah. Which, speaking of other cast members, is it Katie Holmes? Is that her name?
Katie Holmes is in it. Okay, Riley Keough plays the younger sister. And movies you might recognize Riley Keough from. He is in Mad Max Fury Road. She's one of the girls in Mad Max Fury Road. She's the younger sister in Logan Lucky. Those are kind of the biggest roles I can think of. She was in Magic Mike in kind of a smaller role, but it's definitely those three, Channing Tatum, Adam Driver, and Daniel Craig, really do the heavy lifting. But it's an ensemble cast, and everybody has memorable parts. Katie Holmes. I
just thought Katie Holmes was kind of crappy. I didn't particularly like her in this.
She's not real likable. They make her very easy to hate, but that's the role.
Yeah,
fair enough.
And she does kind of soften up as the movie goes on, but they make her as like your typical ex-wife character where she's moved on and moved up, and she doesn't have time for poor Channing Tatum, who's out there, and he's out there grinding and just trying to make ends meet and provide for his daughter, and they make her seem like she's just heartless and cruel and a bad mom to boot by making her daughter do all these little pageants and stuff.
Which that little girl was pretty cute.
Yeah, the little girl was really cute. there's this one moment where they introduce the little girl stepbrothers, and the little girl says, "Oh, I'm going to do Umbrella by Rihanna as my song."
Yeah.
And the little brothers go, "When Rihanna sings about the umbrella, she's not really singing about a rain umbrella. She's singing about her vagina."
In case you need clarification, yeah.
And Channing Tatum goes, "Who told you that?" And they go, "Everybody."
That scene made me laugh so hard, and it reminded me of Talladega Nights. The way those boys were talking, I was just like, it reminded me of those kids who say, "I'm all hyped up on Mountain Dew."
Yeah,
I don't know, it just had the same energy to me, and I loved it. That was so funny. "You shut up, Grandpa. I'm gonna sock you in the mouth."
Wow. The ensemble does a lot of good work. There's a lot of people coming off the bench here and supporting the main three guys who are basically running the show. So there's a lot of strong performances. The plot doesn't ever get too high intensity. It's mostly just for fun, and that's why I think it's really rewatchable. It doesn't cost a lot of emotional investment on the front end to get the reward throughout the movie. Just lots of high laughs, and also a lot of subtle humor, a lot of Southern kind of poking at the Southern drawl and the hillbilly lifestyle, the redneck stereotypes. But it is a lot of fun. I think anybody can really get behind it and get a kick out of it. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about it?
As far as rewatchability, I agree with you. I think you're right because some of the elements, the tension, like you said, it wasn't, in my opinion, all there, but there was enough, I guess, especially when you kind of look back on it, enough moments that go, "Oh, wow, okay, like I could see that part being a hiccup." Like when I watch these movies again, you want to get that reaction back, and I do see myself checking out Logan Lucky sometime in the future. I couldn't I'm gonna watch again tonight, but in general, because it was a pleasantly enjoyable movie. There was a lot of funny parts that and I judge comedy movies a lot, not only by what I see in the trailer, but just also throughout, because of course you're gonna see a lot of funny moments out of the trailer. At least that's the hope to kind of hook you. But just in general, there was a lot of moments that even we've been bringing up now, and it's like, oh yeah, that was funny. So I enjoyed it. Love some of the characterizations. Love the heart in the story. Love the exploration of the redneck culture. And it's definitely something I see myself going back to watch again. And I didn't even realize, wasn't aware at all, that the writers or the people behind Ocean's 11, 13, the other ones also had a hand in this, which makes me appreciate it even more because you get the heist element and the comedic element is not lost either. And so, yeah, definitely one I enjoyed and I will be checking out again. I'm glad I was able to have a chance to watch it.
Nice.
Dude, I couldn't agree more. It's so rewatchable. This movie is definitely one that I will rewatch. It's one that I'm eventually going to be watching with my son. It's one that my wife and I just both found to be absolutely hilarious, and we had so much fun with it today. I don't usually do this because a lot of the movies we watch I don't actually end up watching with her, but I asked her what her review would be, and so I'll give you my wife's score when we get to that point too. But I just had a ton of fun. It's a very enjoyable movie with lots of great laughs, just good culture, for the most part pretty clean. It's a great time. And if you guys are looking for something to watch right now, definitely watch Logan Lucky. I have it on my Vudu. I'm not sure if it's on any of the streaming platforms or anything like that. Do you guys know?
Amazon Prime. I used it for.
Oh, it was on Prime?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Cool. So it's on Prime right now. So there you go. You're stuck in your house. Watch Logan Lucky. It's I would say it's fairly family friendly. It's PG-13. It's got some language, but it's pretty family friendly depending on the age of your kids.
And there's the moment with those boys where they talk about Rihanna's vagina.
Yes.
And then of course Daniel Craig's in the back seat about to get naked.
I'm about to get naked. No peeking.
No peeking.
No peeking.
See another good part.
He was so freaking funny in this, man.
He was a gem. He was a gem.
All right.
All right. Well, you guys want to give your ratings?
I'll go ahead and go first. I mean, I've watched this many, many times. When it first came out, I gave it a 4. I think that score stands. It's rewatchable. it's not something that I was going to go see in the theater many times, but having it on home video, on DVD, I watch it many times. I stream it. I get it lots of different ways. Sometimes it comes on Stars. Sometimes it comes on Amazon Prime. I've got it on Vudu. So I've consumed it many different platforms, many different times, and I always enjoy it. So yeah, a solid 4.
I would have to piggyback on Sam here. But for me, it was different. Because I heard about it, wasn't interested in theaters or anything, and then just kind of like slipped my mind. It was not something I ever thought to pick up or anything. And then not only being able to kind of find it, but also being able to enjoy it as immensely as I did. I don't want to put like recency bias to it because like, oh, just yesterday, boom. But it was a really solid movie, and the fact that it kind of snuck under the radar a little bit only gets more respect for me, because it was one that was so like technically sound in a heist movie and with comedy and everything, but one that, you know, it wasn't like widespread, just plastered all over everyone's faces 2 years ago. So I would also have to go with the 4. Really good movie.
Nice. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by this. Like I said, I thought it was going to be stupid when I originally saw the trailers, and then my brother, whose opinion and mine often align, except for while I do hate HOAs, it's not as passionately as him. But so our opinions are very similar. So I figured, you know what, if my brother really liked it, let me give it a try. I'm really glad I did. I actually watched it with my sister and brother-in-law and my wife earlier this week, and it was so much fun for all of us to sit there watching it. And we made an event out of it because I was still living with my parents while I was waiting to move into the new house this week. And we just had a good time. And both my wife and I agree, 4 out of 5. Solid movie, very rewatchable, a ton of fun, hilarious. And the characters are lovable. Other than Katie Holmes' character, which, like you guys said, she was supposed to be hateable. The little girl was cute and adorable, and you just rooted for them. You wanted them to win, but you could also see a world where they wouldn't. At least my wife and I, we wouldn't have been mad. We would have been like, well, that's pretty funny that they went through all this and then ended up getting caught. You know, like a nice old Monty Python ending where they go through this whole quest to find the grail and then they get arrested at the end. You know, but yeah, solid movie. Really good time. All right. Well, let's just finish up with a couple Fabber flubs, and then it looks like we're going to be a shorter one today, and that's all right.
Nice tight episode.
Yeah, man. When Lance isn't on to keep just jabbering on, it goes quicker.
Yeah, he has to go through his pop collection every week. We got to go through his new purchases. Then we got to go through the highlight purchases. Then we got to go through his history.
Dude, he came over. So Lance and I are best friends, as anyone who listens knows. And he came over to help me a couple times this week, which was awesome. But he came over, I think, Thursday night to help me mount my TV in my office here. And as I'm saying goodbye to him, he's like, oh, come out to my car. And that day, he had bought like 4 or 5 more pops, all supernatural related. And I was like, I don't care about any of these, dude. I love you, though. So I will sit here and I will listen to you talk about them.
You're going to go outside and sweat while he goes through his pops.
Luckily, it was like 9 o'clock at night, so it wasn't too hot. But
so it was
still
only
pretty warm.
Just over 100 degrees.
Yeah, right.
Guy loves the pops.
He does, man. He's obsessed.
Yeah,
but it's okay. We all have our things that we're passionate about. You guys are patient with me when I talk about Final Fantasy VII or Star Wars and my obsession with those.
My dating profile.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with Corban's angry flex pose.
I need to create a Tinder just to check out Corban's profile.
Oh my goodness!
I'll create a troll account and swipe right.
And it'll say, don't swipe. I'm just here for Corban.
Right? And that's another thing. I've been swiping the wrong way. It's a mess. I don't talk about it.
Oh, man, really?
Yeah.
So girls you're interested in?
Yeah, I found one. I was like, oh, this is perfect. Swipe. And I'm like, where'd they go? And I found another one swiped. And then I look back and you can only like retrieve the last one that you found. And I'm like I swiped that person and then pushed them away and then thought, let me do some research to find out if I can get this person back. Never ran back into them. It was a mess. But
what is it? Is it swipe right?
So yeah, right if you like,
want them?
You know. And I'm left-handed, so I'm like, not that means anything, but yeah, right if you like and left if you don't.
Okay, I'm just trying to. Okay, all right. Anyway, so a couple pieces of news. We're going to end on the Star Wars one, so we'll do the other one first. Let me pull up my banners here. National Treasure TV series in development for Disney Plus. Thoughts?
How many times are they going to steal the Declaration of Independence?
Yeah.
Is
So
that
are you with
every season, or is it going to be once per season? Or every episode, or once per season?
It'll be the season finale.
No, it's going to be season premiere. It better be every episode, all episode.
We have to see.
They steal the national anthem every single episode?
No,
I can't remember.
The Declaration of Independence.
Oh, yeah, sorry, the Declaration of Independence. I can't remember. There were 3 of these, right? The movies?
Two.
Just 2?
Movies. So
what did they steal in the second one?
Treasure Book of Secrets.
Oh my God, that one.
And if we're speaking of Nicolas Cage, let's also mention that he's going to be playing Joe Exotic in the
which I think is
of Tiger King,
which is an odd choice. I'm kind of flub on that one, but at the same time, it could be so fantastically horrible that I'll have to watch.
I can't wait to see Nicolas Cage talk about balls in his face.
I was going to say art imitating life, and then you said that. Oh, man.
I thought it was a joke when I saw that Nicolas Cage was going to be Tiger King, but nope, not a joke. It's real. Like, oh, okay. So yeah, I think I lean towards a flub on this one. I'm not really interested in National Treasure TV series. I don't know that interests me very much, but I've been wrong before. Who knows? Maybe it's a really great idea that I'm just not on board with yet.
Sci-Fi had a couple of series kind of in the same vein, or maybe Sci-Fi had one called Warehouse 13, and then I don't know if it was TBS. I think it was TBS had one called The Librarians, but kind of like a treasure hunters. But it was also there was a lot of supernatural elements to it. This is more like, ancient societies, kind of Da Vinci Code, but lighthearted. Or not as adult themed as Da Vinci Code, but is solving puzzles using old devices, things like that.
History, and then having real cool theme music as you're like piecing together, and I feel like I have like a CSI element to it, where they're like dusting off old relics with like the music and the different shots of them,
studying. They're basically studying.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I don't know. It could be interesting, I guess. I mean, it's been so long. I just remember feeling okay about the first movie and watching it like 18 times because it was being shown everywhere, and then hating the second movie with a passion. But even then, it's been so long that I don't really know how to feel. Like, I guess it could be good. Could the plot translate to TV? As you said, Sam, how many times can you steal? Insert historical relic.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, if they could go to other countries, I guess, but National Treasure, you would think, I guess, needs to be more one country since it's national. But I don't know. I don't know.
It's basically going to be like Carmen Sandiego, but you're rooting for the thieves.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally the movie we watched.
Depending on the acting quality you're rooting for the authorities. Yeah. That's true.
So who would you cast to play another Nicolas Cage-like character?
I thought.
Can we get Joe Exotic out of prison?
Are we not getting Nicolas Cage for this?
That's what I was hoping, right?
I don't know. I actually haven't heard. Did I put the link in here? I meant to, but I didn't.
Check. Yeah, I mean,
you guys can check. I saw it on IGN.com. If you guys want to look it up and see, but I can't remember for sure who was going to be in it. It might be Nicolas Cage though. But anyway, we don't need to dive into that much more. Let's talk about our last thing, and then we'll finish up. So, The Mandalorian season 2 has cast a familiar person as Boba Fett. So I'm going to butcher his name, but Temuera Morrison, who played Jango Fett in the prequel trilogy, who would also be the same physical body as Boba Fett, since Boba Fett is a clone of Jango. He's going to play Boba Fett in The Mandalorian season 2. And I know our buddy Matt from Absolute Geek hates this idea. Did you guys talk about this last night, Corban, on your show?
We did touch on this. Yes, it's interesting. Yeah.
Matt is so against it every time I talk to him about it.
What
do you think?
I think it's okay. Okay, so it was breaking news to me yesterday. I've been able to think about it more today because at first, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, wait, so is he playing Jango Fett returning, but then Jango Fett was dead? So how's it gonna work? So I think the aging way that they're doing this is interesting. I'm not against it. In my mind, why not just bring I guess he's playing Boba, and I guess the age in this time between, the Return of the Jedi and wherever they are now, that gap is covered. And it's interesting. I'm all for any resemblance of continuity, bringing back anyone who portrayed a role in the past. I'm a sucker for that type of casting decisions, so I would never be against it to begin with. I don't know how it ties into the whole timeline and how they're doing the Mandalorian, so that's where I guess I'm intrigued. Also, I guess there's some blowback from people who wonder why there has to be a Fett in the Mandalorian story, and why can't that story just stand on its own merits without having tie-ins. So I'm of the opinion that I think it's solid, and I don't really have anything against it, and only time can tell, but I'm definitely more on the positive side of that.
Mm-hmm. As far as age is concerned, he definitely, like, the actor himself is older than Boba Fett would be at this point. But there's a couple of things that don't matter in that regard. One is he's under a mask the whole time. Probably will be most of the time, so whatever, doesn't matter. And two, clones age faster than normal human beings. Because the actor is 59 years old. Boba Fett would probably be 30-ish by this point. He'd be in his 30s. Because, this takes place pretty shortly after Return of the Jedi, Mandalorian, I mean. And there's only about 20 years between the end of the prequel trilogy to the Return of the Jedi time. Let's give or take even like 6 years or so in there, I think. But anyway, he wouldn't be almost 60 years old. But I don't think that matters, the age issue, because, again, he's under a mask. They could use makeup to de-age him if they have him take off his mask. Just like they did have in The Mandalorian in the show, he took off his mask.
True.
But I think this is a cool idea. I know that Matt and others don't like the idea of a Fett being on the show. They think it's a dumb idea that it's going to upstage. Excuse me, is it Jin? No, it's not Jin. Dang it! What is the Mandalorian's name again? I can't remember. Well, it's not Mando. He has an actual name.
They call him Mando.
Yeah, but he has a name. Anyway, I don't think it's going to upstage him. I think this is going to be cool to have Boba Fett in there. I'm hoping it finally takes Boba Fett down a peg. I'd love to see them fight each other and see Mando take him down. That's what I think would be really cool. It's Din Djarin is his name, is the Mandalorian's real birth name. But anyway, I'm down with this. I think it's a fab. I'm excited to see Boba Fett. Hopefully not upstage him. I do think it'd be bad if he upstaged, but I don't think he will. I think the Mandalorian is so cool now that he can stand his own against Boba Fett.
Like,
what do you think, Sam?
Himself. Okay.
Well said. Did you want me to weigh in?
If you want to, you don't have to. Not into Star Wars enough to really want to weigh in too much?
I watched all of Mandalorian. I thought it was a great show. Seeing how it ties into the larger Star Wars universe is always really cool. Tamara Morrison he doesn't get a lot of play, but the things that he's been in, the parts that he's done, I've enjoyed. And he was a big part of the Clone Wars series. And at least character-wise, right? All those clones were basically him. And Boba Fett was played up. He was hyped so hard in the original trilogy, and he gets done so dirty in Return of the Jedi. And it was just like the biggest nothing burger that ended up. And it's like I can understand why Star Wars fans or Boba Fett fans hate the way he was done in that series. So hopefully this is a path to redemption for the character.
Maybe they can change my mind, because honestly, I don't like Boba Fett. I didn't think he was that
done so dirty, man. Like, if they had done him the right way, you'd probably feel differently about him.
Or that's what I'm saying. Maybe they'll change my mind.
Mm-hmm. If they had, like you said, if they hadn't played him up as much, Sam, then maybe it wouldn't have been like, oh, that's it, he's gone. You know,
Well, it's the original trilogy, and then in the Clone Wars, they have several episodes with Boba Fett in it, probably a good 10 episodes that he's in. And I hate him. He's the whiniest character. He's awful. Granted, he's an adolescent at this point, but I hate him. So maybe this is a good thing. Maybe they can make me like Boba Fett. I think he looks really cool. I have Boba Fett gear that I'm going to hang up on my wall, but I think the character kind of sucks.
And I just want to say this about The Mandalorian. The biggest disappointment for me in season 1 was when Mando took his helmet off and they showed his face. I hated that part.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I didn't want to see his face. I wanted them to just tease the face. Like, if they had shown him taking his helmet like this
from behind or something,
and then cut to a different angle before you actually saw his face, I would have loved that. But I didn't want to see his face. And when they showed his face, I was supremely disappointed. Like, he
doesn't look nearly as bad.
Right.
Pedro Pascal is not as cool looking as the Mandalorian in his full suit of armor.
Yeah, they should not have shown his face. That's the biggest misstep I think they did in season 1.
Sebastian Stan as Winter Soldier, when he finally took off that last little piece and I saw his face, that was my reaction. Even though Stan's a much better actor, told me not much better actor, much better for the role, he ended up being okay. When I first saw it, I know the disappointment because I felt it again where I was like, oh, like, damn, I didn't have to see that.
Yeah, the Winter Soldier looks a lot cooler with his face mask on.
Yeah,
he looks badass, man.
Exactly.
Really cool.
And so when you're saying that, I totally get it. Where it's like, oh, like okay, I guess, but you're a lot more intimidating, a lot more of the thought. Same thing with Adam Driver as Kylo Ren. What's with the Star Wars people saying?
Yeah,
keep them on. I don't know.
Well, a lot of shows and movies do it, and sometimes to their detriment because actors want to act with their faces. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, that's great and all, but you can act with your voice too, and with your body language. Because I felt the same way with Kylo Ren. I think Adam Driver is a fantastic actor, and I think he did a really good job. But Kylo Ren is much more imposing and much cooler when he has that mask on. The distorted voice, the look of him, especially with his hood on. He looks better with the hood over his head. Yeah. Looks really cool. Star Wars does a really good job of that. They make people look freaking awesome with their helmets on. But then, you take the helmet off, and it looks weird. But it definitely wasn't needed. I agree. I think they could have shown you. He could have taken his helmet off for purposes of being healed by the droid, but we didn't need to see it as the audience.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing that I'm surprised wasn't on your agenda tonight, maybe you want to put it on, but
I can.
They did announce Taika Waititi is expected to direct a Star Wars movie in the next couple of years here. Write and direct a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I'm trying to put it up, but I'm trying not to type too loud.
What did you think about that, Sam? That was interesting, right?
Okay, so Taika Waititi is like the hottest name in Hollywood right now. Like, Disney can't get enough of Taika. They would give us some more Taika. We need more Taika.
I agree, dude.
Movie needs more Taika.
Needs some more Taika.
And the only cure is Taika.
Oh man,
dude, I love this. My brother and I were texting about it. He's not as on the same page as me with this. He thinks it's a weird choice because Taika Waititi's so goofy. But I'm like, dude, goofy is good for Star Wars. Like, we want some goofiness. That's a positive. So I'm all on board. Plus, you see a Jojo Rabbit, which my brother hasn't seen, and that might be why his opinion is colored only Thor Ragnarok, Taika. But Jojo Rabbit has a lot of serious moments in it and a lot of drama. Star Wars is not ever going to be as heavy as Jojo Rabbit. That's not what Star Wars is. But it does have some degree of soap opera-ness to it. It's, a space opera. But I think Taika Waititi can do a great job at that. I'm stoked for this. Star Wars and Marvel at this point have started to adopt similar tones. Taika did a great job with the MCU. Why wouldn't he do a great job in Star Wars? I am so excited for this.
I can agree. That's true. Especially lightening up Marvel. Sorry.
No, go. Yeah. So Taika Waititi's particular brand of storytelling. Again, I've said this every time we talk about Taika Waititi, but funny sad is his motif, and that's pairing extreme tragedy with extreme comedy. So if you saw Jojo Rabbit, you're you're laughing, and then you're crying, and then you're laughing, and you're like sucking up your tears so you can hear the next joke, and then as soon as the joke ends, something terribly tragic happens, and you're back to sobbing. And he has a lot of that in his movies. Hunt for the Wilder People is like that. Thor Ragnarok is like that. There's a lot of loss in Thor Ragnarok, and that same storyline continues into Endgame, or Infinity War, and into Endgame. That kind of trajectory of loss for Thor, and that's been the theme for Thor in the MCU. But Taika Waititi seemed to heighten it and really emphasize the amount of loss that Thor suffers. And then in Jojo Rabbit, it's the same idea. There's a lot of loss and a lot of humor playing side by side, and it works extremely well with his style of storytelling. It's not sarcastic. It's just really funny. It's really sincere. It's all heart, and it's really endearing. And so I think if you want to find a director who's going to bring a fan base back around, I think Taika Waititi probably is the right choice for that.
Yeah, and as a huge Star Wars fan like I am, I think what I want to see is a totally new character and a totally new story from him. I think the concern people like my brother have is that they might take a character like Darth Revan, for instance, and Taika Waititi it, which might be a bad choice for him because the character of Revan is very dark, not humorous so much, and maybe that like extreme sad, extreme funny would be a bad choice for that character. And I think that may be true. And so I think it'd be awesome for him to do a Star Wars movie, but I think I'd like it to be with a character that we don't know yet. Give us something totally fresh, totally new. And when I say totally new, I don't mind if it's like somewhat coinciding with other Star Wars timelines. Like The Mandalorian takes place right after the original trilogy. That's fine. That's a totally new character, though, with a totally new story that we don't have any background of. It's not like they're taking an old comic book or an old book from the extended universe from before Disney and trying to adapt it, because I think Taika Waititi could potentially really sour a lot of Star Wars fans who are already horrible people to deal with at times. I feel like I am a pretty reasonable Star Wars fan, and maybe other fans would hate me, but I love all the Star Wars stuff, even the stuff that isn't as good. I love it all. I'm just happy to see Star Wars, but there's a lot of people out there that do not feel the same way. They hate the new trilogy. They hate everything Disney does, and I think Taika Waititi, to be fair, no one's going to make those people happy, but I think he could sour additional fans if you take a character that they already love and know. So that's why I think a new character would be better.
All right, well, that's a good introduction to this new segment I'm introducing right now, which is 30-second pitch. So give us your 30-second pitch for the Taika Waititi Star Wars movie.
Me?
We're all going to take a turn. But yeah.
Okay. I actually was thinking of one already. So
there you go.
I'll go ahead and start.
Go ahead, Max, since you've already got it on the tip of your tongue.
I don't know if I'll be able to get like a real good 30-second pitch here, but I'm thinking no Jedi, no Force. Give us a bounty hunter movie, ensemble cast with Taika Waititi. Doesn't need to be Boba Fett. Totally new bounty hunters. And set it, I don't know, even during the Clone Wars. Give us some more Clone Wars era stuff and show us a bounty hunter group going off and getting into all sorts of hijinks. I think it'd be really cool to see, a group of bounty hunters going around the galaxy, getting into trouble, and maybe even doing a heist. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Oh, that's good. I think if we're doing like a standalone movie and not a trilogy or something for Waititi, I would like a story following a Jedi or a group of Jedi set just after Order 66. Give me that moment where the darkness, all that sadness and stuff is already baked in. It's inherent, just given the situation. And then impart that heart, impart that character, impart that comedy he's going to, and make a story that's going to add to the legend of Star Wars. And it's completely bereft of of Anakin Skywalker or Obi-Wan Kenobi. It can kind of flourish in its own little film, in its own little world, in its own little piece of that history, and yet be completely stood apart. So that'd be mine.
I think that'd be cool.
Okay, mine's going to be called Weekend at Palpatine's.
Oh boy.
I knew it was gonna be something off the wall. I love it. All right.
And it follows two soldiers on the Death Star who happen to cross Palpatine's corpse after being yeeted off of the top of the Death Star by Darth Vader, and it's their job to get Palpatine's corpse to Exegol so that they can crank up the old clone machine.
Get this baby working one more time. Yeah, that would be hilarious. I don't know how that would even work fleshed out, but I'm intrigued already.
I just want to see one of the characters in my movie to be like a big rock-looking guy who's trying to start a revolution on his planet.
Korg?
Yeah.
Korg.
That'd be a great name for him. Yeah, that's good thinking.
Korg, that is a good name. Huh.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's the name. That's his name. Yeah, that would be that.
He'll have enough pamphlets this time. He will have enough pamphlets. That was a good segment. Loved it. We should do that. We should do that again, but I'll prepare better next time.
Love it. Look at y'all. 30 seconds. I'm ready.
Because now I'm like thinking, ooh, I said no Force and no Jedi, but now I'm like, well, wait, Taika Waititi did a really good job with Thor and all of his powers, so maybe it would be cool to have more of like a Jedi with some cool powers under his direction.
That would be neat.
Alrighty. Well, I think that'll do it for us tonight, guys.
Excellent.
All right.
Thanks
Anything you want to?
Appreciate you being here.
Yeah. Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Max.
Thank you for coming on.
On the dating profiles, we want to know how the flex is working out for you.
Yeah, where's your link?
You know what?
Your Tinder link down in there.
If I could get it on, I would. just know I'll have it on all social media. Under the couch.
There's no ladies watching this episode. Don't worry.
I don't want to advertise Tinder. Give us your grinder. I need your grinder only.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. Nothing that. But thanks again, y'all. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Is there anything you want to plug, or anything you've been up to with Absolute Geek, or anything? Or
aside from our show on Fridays, not really. We have the Spinner Rack, comic book centric, sort of. That's around.
When is that? You guys don't do that live though, do you? Or you do? Or no, you do.
We did it last week, and it was just it was like if we were building a perfect Avengers team, who would we pick? That's been at best the word I would use is infrequent. So just around there, we promo it there. But aside from that, not a whole lot. Just wash your hands, guys, and stay safe. That's my plug.
Don't tell me what to do.
Oh, there you go. No. Check out the Couch Crunchers. That's the plug I think we stand for. No.
Sounds good, man.
All I got.
All right. Well, thanks again, Corban. Have a good one. And as Lance would say, keep on geeking on and buy more pops.